Hi, everybody. Go ahead and trickle into the room. I'm a little late. My apologies for that. We will get started in just a moment. Let me turn this off because I don't know if Neo strikes or not. Sorry. Love that song. No. Hi, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. I am Mambo. I am founder and facilitator of the Charm School Mentorship Program. I'm your weekly reader, and I'm a dope bitch straight up out of Oakland. I do these readings every Sunday night just to give everyone a little bit of insight into the energy that's ahead of us for the week. I don't plan on being here very long tonight, but I just wanted to make sure that I came through. And if you guys know me, if you've been watching for a while, you know that consistency means the world to me, both in other people as well as in myself. So, yeah, I wanted to make sure that I came on here tonight. Hello, Nicole. Good to see you. As you come into the room, say hello. Introduce yourself so that I can say hi back. Hi, Empress. Good to see you again. We will start in just a moment. I just want to send this link out to a couple more spaces. I hope everyone is doing well today. Hey, Tamika. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. We will start in just a minute. I typically like to do this before I'm even on here because I don't like the way it looks on camera when I watch it back and I'm staring into the abyss, but in the abyss is what I call my cell phone. I really need to do some work on having less screen time this week. How many of you guys know that you need to work on your screen time? How many of you all know that you are probably overdue for a social media break? Yeah, I need to just automate some things and make that happen. I always say I'm gonna do it and then I never do. But yeah, screen time needs to decrease, absolutely. Hello, Allie, good to see you. Oh, I love when you guys introduce me. That makes me so happy when you guys are chatting with each other in the comments. That is the cutest shit in the world to me. Okay. So for those of you who may be new here, hi, I'm Mambo Soleil. Again, this is something that I do every week. You may be coming here because you saw me post in a group somewhere that I was going to take questions from the audience. I absolutely will. That is not false advertising to get you here. But the weekly energy reading is really important to me. And so please hold your questions until I've gotten through the weekly reading. I will let you know when it's time to post your questions in the comments. I'll always get to as many people as I can as time permits. And today is a day where I hope that I can get to everybody. But for now, we are going to start with the weekly reading. The weekly reading typically consists of 3 to 4 spreads: general, love, romance, finances, health, etc. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. We are going to start like we always do with the general reading, okay? Ancestors, angels, ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need about the week of July 7th through the 13th? Please give us wisdom and insight into the nature of any lessons, blessings, challenges, breakthrough experiences we'll be having over the next 7 days. Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about ourselves, our habits, and our environments, and will allow us to walk through this next 7 days with authenticity, with strength. Give us wisdom about the types of stumbles we may have so that we know how to prepare anything. Any wisdom shared is appreciated. Some of us are burning the candle or the wick rather at both ends. Some of us are very, very tired. Some of us need to really be deliberate this week about cultivating a space for rest. And again, for those of you who are wondering where I'm staring to before I read the candles, I know a lot of you know this, but I do read flames, so I always have, not candles, the cards. I do read flames, so that's why I always have a candle off to the side as I'm reading the cards. But I love this for us. I see now why we need rest. First card in the spread is the Magician, and it has two meanings. It has two understandings. Spirit wants me to address both. Some of you guys are having a difficult time with making progress in the ways in which you need because you've lost sight and understanding that you got this, right? That you have all the tools at your disposal to create the circumstances and the condition you want in your life and in your surroundings, okay? So the Magician is coming up because a lot of you guys need to really tap into your own internal sense of magic. There are some of you, though, unfortunately, due to arrogance or due to just, survival strategies you may have picked up that no longer serve you, are tapping into the dark or the reversal side of the Magician. And so you're showing up inauthentically. You're showing up as a trickster. There's a lot of manipulation involved in tricking people, right? Distracting someone with your right hand so that they don't see what you're doing with the left. And the veil is about to fall for some of you. So your spirits really want you to ask what this trickster energy, what this balancing act is costing you, right? Here's the thing. The charisma and the charm that you have that makes you able to do this is not a deficit. It's actually a very, very beautiful thing, right? That Queen of Wands energy of being able to captivate people, to charm people, to sway people over to your side and into doing the things that you think are necessary, or that low-key that you just want them to do. That is a very handy and powerful dynamic, right? Queen of Wands is a powerful woman. And that is a charm and a skill set that can be used for a lot of really, really beautiful things. But unfortunately, again, going back to this Magician, some of you who are watching, and it's not a lot, but some of you who are watching this, aren't using it for good, right? You're using it because, again, dark side of Queen of Wands is that she can be a mean girl. She can be a shit starter. She can be someone who uses her powers of persuasion to isolate other people or to make people feel bad, right? Ask yourself now, if you are on the dark aspect of that, ask yourself now what that's costing you, because it can cost you the world. Literally. Some of you guys don't see it that deep, but it can cost you the world, right? What is the world card about? It's about hitting a new chapter, and the world literally being at your feet. You having worked hard to accumulate access to a new set of knowledge that opens you up to new experiences, new connections, new opportunities. But it is one that depends on you using the wisdom you've accumulated on your journey thus far wisely. And the reason why Spirit is warning some of us through this Magician and this Queen of Wands is because we done fucked around and did all this work to get here. And if we don't use our charm, we don't use our charisma, we don't use our voice, our persuasion wisely, it can cost us the world, right? What happens when people learn that you have manipulated them? People don't respond well to realizing that they are being played. They really, really don't. What happens? They lose faith in you. They lose favor in you, right? It's hard for them to trust you. It's hard for them to have hope in you. And so this star card is in reverse, also under the Magician, because we're being asked to think about these little tricks and mind games that we play with people, that we do to survive a moment or to get what we want. What are they really costing us? They can potentially cost us the world. They can cost us to lose favor in other people. The other thing about the star card being in reverse under the magician, if you have faith in yourself, if you believe in yourself, you don't have to trick people. You don't have to manipulate people. You don't have to play mind games. You don't have to hide what your left hand is doing with your right, right? You don't have to do these things if you believe in yourself. So this is a week where, and I understand now why the candle was saying a lot of people are really exhausted. A lot of people are really tired and stretched thin. Being in the dark aspects of that magician is fucking exhausting. Putting on a show is exhausting. Being inauthentic is exhausting. That's another reason why you guys are, those of you who this message is for, losing faith in yourself. So this is a week where you are being challenged to trust yourself to be as authentic as possible and believe that people are still going to find you charming. They're still going to find you captivating. They're still going to want to look to you and hear what you have to say. And not only will they still do that, you don't risk losing your favor. You don't risk losing your standing. You don't risk fucking up your reputation with people that really actually fucking respect you. I don't know why I'm cussing so much. I'll work on it, right? Knight of Swords, right? What did I say about the dark aspects of the magician, that trickster trying to get ahead energy? Knight of Swords, although they are very successful, they can lose friendships. They can lose association. None of the court cards in the sword suit have a lot of friends. And that is because rather than seeing people as just what they are and valuing human beings for being just what they are, they have a tendency to treat people as a means to an end instead of just a means in and of themselves, right? What does that mean in terms of the context of this reading? How does that relate to the Knight of Swords? What's one thing that you always hear me say about the Knight of Swords? They can be so fixated on a goal and they can be so fixated on getting what they want that they'll run over people in situations and treat them like collateral damage. This warning is so you don't lose people. You don't lose your friendships and associations. You lose the people that you value, right? Some of you all, and again, it may not be all of you. For some of you, you may be reading this. You may be hearing this and thinking, okay, this is not me. This is such and such. I can see how I'm that person in someone's life that's being run over as collateral damage, right? If you are feeling that way, pray. Go to prayer. Again, when the star card comes up, it's a signal to pray so that we don't lose faith in God and ourselves and our circumstances, right? We end with the Fool card. I'm falling deeper in love with the Fool card as I'm restudying the deck and as I'm preparing new classes for Charm School. I'm really, really falling back in love with the Fool card because the Fool card is, there's so much possibility in the Fool card, right? When you show up open-hearted, committed to the experiences of your journey, not invested in a result, but just committed to the experience of your journey, there's so much possibility within that. There's so much possibility for love, connection, breakthrough. Yeah, you may stumble, you may fall off a cliff, you may hurt you. You know what I mean? There's no guarantee, but the possibility, right, of the experience being open to the world and open to the people around you is so, so beautiful, right? This is a week where we got to do less of this. We got to do less performing. We got to do less tricking. We got to do less hiding behind the veil, right? We got to do less trying to distract people with our right hand so that they don't see our left, right? We are not being asked to hyperfixate on the light so that people don't see the shadows with them. None of that is getting us what we want in terms of connection, forward movement, and being who we are and who we need to be in order to take advantage of the blessings in the new chapter that we're in. None of that is going to work for us. What's going to work for us is Fool card energy, right? I think a lot of people avoid the Fool because everybody want to be an expert, nobody want to be a student, right? But there's so much potential in being a student. You get to learn so many things. if you can step into life with curiosity and wonder, it stretches you in ways that are beautiful, right? There's an inflexibility to the magician, a rigidity to the magician that we don't often pay attention to. And that's not going to work for us this week. What's going to work for us is being open, being curious, not treating people like we know everything they have to say, not being so invested in getting a result out of the people that we interact with, that we stop treating them like people, right? And we stop being curious, and we stop listening, we stop connecting. That's not going to get us what we want. We are being cautioned against running so quickly towards the getting of a thing, towards the hitting of a target, that we forget to treat people like means in and of themselves, right? Be careful about that this week, because you are so focused. It can be you getting a promotion. It can be you getting a yes out of somebody. It can be, let's be real, it can be you trying to bring somebody down to size because you holding on to a grudge and you don't like what they said to you 3 years ago, right? You can be so hyper fixated on that you lose sight of what you lose in terms of your hard work and the joy and the bounty in this next chapter. You can lose people's faith in you, faith in yourself, right? You can lose the positive favor that you get naturally from your charisma and from your ability to see people where they are. It's not worth it. Be authentic this week. Authenticity requires openness and vulnerability. It's not about bulldozing and manipulating, okay? So I feel like that sounds very specific, but it's coming up in a general reading for a reason. So some of you who are watching this either live or in the replay, you may see yourself in the person that I'm speaking to, or you may see yourself in the person in the environment around that person. Either way, I know enough to know that this is a message that needed to be given. Where do I go next? They want me to go to love. I be trying to avoid the love readings, but they want me to go into love next. So we'll go to love. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits of all good, non-living ancestors. What wisdom does the collective need at this time about love and romance over the next 7 days of our lives? Who do we need to be, and what do we need to see about ourselves, our environment, and our habits that will allow us to have the experiences around matters of the heart that we'd like to have during the week of July 7th through the 13th. Give us wisdom around how to not build any resentments in our heart, not to cause any blockages in other people's heart. Give us wisdom around how to do no harm and take no shit romantically. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Keep the scales going, y'all. It's gotten quiet. The activity froze up a little bit. Hit the scales if you're still with me. Let me know you're still there. If you know anyone who would benefit from hearing this reading, anyone who's interested in weekly readings, send the link to folks. The more people in the room, the merrier. Some of you have experienced a recent heartbreak. And a heartbreak actually may not even be recent, but it's something that's been at the forefront of your mind over this last 3 or so months. And the reason, And the reason why it's at the forefront of your mind is because opportunities for love are starting to pick up, whether that you being attracted to someone or someone else being attracted to you. And rather than you being in a space of positivity and joy and excitement around it. Hey, Miss Renee, good to see you. Hello, Empress, my Anabu. Hey, Tiffany. Instead of you being in a space of excitement around that, your imposter syndrome has been flared. It's like you've been triggered or something. So your spirits would really, really love to see you take this week to really get back to your foundation. Not only take care of yourself, you should probably cleanse your house, literally just get rid of and rebuke that spirit of doubt, because it's energetic, right? And it's showing up in your space. But also get back to your foundations around, what do I even want from love, right? Because here's the thing. We think that when we deal with imposter syndrome, that say it the way that my spirit told me to say it, that makes us a bitch, or we weak, or like, we're not a coward. That's not it. That imposter syndrome is coming up because there's something going on in your essence that makes you feel like an outsider, or that there's a need that you're not getting, right? So rather than letting that imposter syndrome run you and make you retreat deeper into the heartbreak, which is not going to serve you, this week is best spent thinking about love and what you want from love. And low-key, who you may not have been when you experienced the heartbreak, not so that you beat yourself up, but more so that you understand the progress that you've made, right? So this is a week about self-care. This is a week about reminding yourself of who you are and that you are worthy of love. And getting really serious about, and I'm going to use the language Spirit is giving me again, and hopefully once I start to talk through the cards, it'll make sense. Being serious about the war in the business of love, okay? Y'all know that I come from the belief that everything is spiritual warfare. And that may sound dramatic to most people, but if you study deliverance ministry, I'm not even going to go down that tangent, but like most things are war and strategy. So that's why I'm saying the war in the business of love, right? Some of you guys step into love way too unprotected. And that's why there's a heartbreak that you keep experiencing over and over again, even though it was never meant for you to experience more than once. It was a heartbreak that you were supposed to experience and learn from, right? Okay, and so in war, what happens? You lose a battle, you don't give up on the war. You learn about what defenses were left down, right? What bridges weren't put up, right? What landmines did you accidentally step on? You're supposed to learn from the loss of the battle so that you don't retreat from the war, right? And that is very much an energy of Three of Swords. Like, yeah, you had a heartbreak. Yeah, you had a letdown, but there's too much wisdom in terms of potential for maturation that came from that. So you're not supposed to stagnate in this energy. It was supposed to teach you something, right? And so what do we do when we are hit with imposter syndrome? We don't retreat, we study. We study. That's what I'm saying. Like, rather than feeling like, oh, I'm not supposed to be dating, I'm just supposed to give up on love. Oh, me and my husband have had this argument way too many times. That means divorce. Rather than giving up, study and reflect and prepare yourself so that you have better and you can call in better, right? The literal meaning of the Eight of Pentacles is study and refinement that allows you to call in a larger salary. How that translates in love is, what are you learning about your love journey that positions you to call in better than what you had in the last situation? And that's why we have this Three of Swords here. Are you defeating to the heartbreak? Are you letting it run your life 3, 4, 5 years later, 3, 4, 5 months later? Or are you learning something from what you went through that's going to sharpen the skill sets and the tools you have now so that you can have better in the future? I don't know who needs to hear this. Spirit is talking about how some of you guys need to work on your communication. How did a lack of communication or manipulative communication or weak communication in your last relationship put you in a position that led to its downfall and left you with some sort of heartbreak or betrayal? Okay, what can you learn from that and refine in that so that you call in better as you move forward. That is the foundational work that you need to do this week around love and romance. Because a lot of you guys are running from love because you are convinced that it has to be bad. No, there's something that you're not learning. And if you can stop wallowing in the imposter syndrome and learn the lesson, you will have a reason to celebrate. This is coming up because a couple of you guys may have already met somebody that you like, or somebody is very much in that I like you and I want you energy in your life, right? But in 4 months, some of you all who are either single or who are broken up have the potential to be back in relationship, right? So work on this shit now so it doesn't break your heart again, right? Take these next 4 months to really be real with yourself. And it may not be communication, it could be something else, but learn from it and refine it instead of defaulting to the imposter syndrome and running. You are not going to see what you want in romance until you really work on yourself, until you are the type of person who is independently attractive, independently abundant, independently stable and welcoming and inviting. You're not going to have that in another partner. And that's another part of the reason why this is coming up, right? The imposter syndrome makes it easy for you to blame it on other people. But if you can break out of the imposter syndrome and really refine yourself, you'll get to this place where you are showing up in the world in a way that attracts the type of person that you want. I love these last two cards because people get scared of them when they come up in a love reading, but I love this shit. Like anything that relates to strategy and refinement, I'm all about it, right? King of Swords. This is not a time for you to really be dating everybody, and that's okay, right? But you should be dating. You should be. And you should be trusting yourself to be strategic. Again, what did I say earlier? A lot of you, a lot of us, because we're talking about the collective, and I don't want to sound judgy, a lot of us have a tendency to go into love, into relationships without any strategy. And that is never wise. And that's a huge part of the reason why this Four of Wands is even coming up. Get clear on your foundation. Get clear on what it is you even want from love and romance. So that way, once you go on a date, or once you talk to someone for a couple of months, or once your old crush comes back into your life from high school or college or whatever, you can ask them the important questions and determine early on, this motherfucker can't give me what I want in terms of my foundation. And then you part your ways and you go about your business. King of Swords is very strategic. Him and his wife are not afraid to use that sword to cut people off if they need to. But they're not doing it from a place of meanness or cruelty. In their debilitation, yeah. But in their upright, no. They're doing it from a place of knowing very, very clearly what they want and what they deserve. Right? So, yes, date. But if you know good and damn well somebody has not changed, don't give them space. If you know from those first initial interactions that this person has things that bother you, it is not. And now I see why in that general reading, that message about not being manipulative came up, right? It is not your responsibility to raise and change somebody when you're dating. We are grown-ass people, right? So when you see that somebody can't meet you where you are, be comfortable with the walking away, because that clears your space to focus on what's next, okay? King of Swords, date from strategy. That does not mean that you won't have love and romance, right? King of Swords fucks heavy with their wife, the Queen of Swords. That's why he's the only king that uses his wife for wise counsel. They love each other deeply, but it's a love that is both rooted in romance and strategy. And a lot of you guys need to be much more strategic. That's why we end with the Devil card. Stop dating from lust and date from strategy, right? Devil card is related to Capricorn energy. What is Capricorn? They are the businessman of the zodiac. They are the father of the zodiac. They are discipline embodied. right? A lot of you guys keep returning to the same heartbreak over and over and over again because instead of setting up stable foundation, instead of working on your imposter syndrome so that you don't betray yourself, you are dating from your temptations, your desires, your weaknesses that you then turn around and blame on the devil or spirit or lack of spiritual insight when you can just be more disciplined. Be Capricorn. Be more disciplined. I don't care how fine this nigga is. He's a nutcase. And every time I've talked to him, he's complaining about his baby mama. So what the fuck is he going to do to me? Capricorn, discipline, hearing people, being strategic in how you move based on what you hear and what you see, right? I'm saying that a huge part of what's important for me in terms of my foundation on love and relationship is financial stability, is financial wisdom, right? And yet, when this motherfucker goes ahead and tells me that he has $100,000 in debt, I'm not walking away because all I'm thinking about is how he's flashy and how he's spending money and how he's always taking me out for seafood dinners and shit. Guess how he probably accumulated that $100,000 of debt, right? Pay attention to what is coming up early on and move strategically. That is what's going to save you from your heartbreak. Take responsibility for how you need to learn certain lessons and operationalize those lessons. King of Swords is the embodiment of walk it like they talk it. Integrity is saying a thing and moving in action with that thing. And so a lot of us are not getting what we want out of love because we're fucking out of integrity with what we claim to want. We're out of integrity with what we claim to want. And there are heartbreaks that we're experiencing over and over again as a result of the lack of that integrity. But instead of learning what we need to learn, we're just hurting ourselves over and over again. And we're oscillating between using that pain to avoid participating actively in love or just letting whatever the fuck happen to us over and over again. And this is a week where we got to get really real with ourselves. Are we showing up in a way that's going to attract the abundance we want? And if not, we got to really, really refine that skill set and divorce ourselves from that imposter syndrome so that we can do so. Okay? I prayed and I hit my medicine before I got on here, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And I feel like this reading is taking a really interesting. What's coming up in these cards and in this candle tonight is really, really fascinating. We'll do health and wellness next. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits walk with me. Elevated ancestors. What wisdom is the collective need at this time about our health and wellness as we go into the week of July 7th through the 13th? Please give us wisdom around any breakthroughs, lessons, challenges, deficits, points of healing and attention that we need to focus on as we go through the next 7 days. Please give us wisdom about who we need to be and how we need to show up in terms of our habits, things we need to take account for in our environment that will bring us closer to the holistic health that we seek to have, that will bring us balance when it comes to mind, body, and spirit. And wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. What's madness for talk? You know what? Give me a moment because I think you guys have been saying a couple of things and I want to catch up in the comments really, really quick. But first, let me pull the spread and then I'm going to read the comments and then we'll go over health and wellness. Let's see. Capricorn's gonna give it to you straight. Capricorns will give it to you straight and they're about their business. I've never met a Capricorn that wasn't about their money. And And anytime I met a Capricorn that was broke, it was because, and y'all can get mad at me about what I'm about to say next, but I don't give a fuck. It was because they had a bunch of heavy water placements in other areas of their chart, or they were just on some bullshit. But Capricorns are really disciplined, right? And even the money stuff about Capricorn, it's not even about the money as it is about the respect. Integrity of word means a lot to Capricorns. They're very, very serious, very fatherly. Again, when you think about the positive aspects of the divine masculine, Capricorn, even the women, just operate that way. That love and astrology class you taught opened my eyes to some new stuff. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, Bertal. If you guys did not get to attend the love and astrology class, if you are interested in purchasing it, I haven't fully updated my website from the sale yet, so some of the classes are still marked down. I don't know if that's one of them, but I strongly encourage you to review that class. There was some really good information, especially about how to use your Chiron and things like that when it comes to love and romance. Empress said, "You talking to me? You are a part of the collective, baby. I'm talking to a lot of people, not just you. But I hope that what I said was helpful." Sanidra, those are scales from Sanidra. Thank you. Bertal, Neptune is not making it easy. It's really, really not. It's really not making it easy for us. Neptune is not impacting me with love and relationship. It's impacting me with some other things. But yeah, they got their foot on my neck too. They got their foot on my neck too. Let's get into this health and wellness reading. As you come into the room again, say hello and hit the scale emoji so that I know you're with me. Sanidra, heck yeah, my daughter is all about her money. Capricorns, it's good to have Capricorns in your life. I'll just say that. It's good to have Capricorns in your life. Even if their sun is not Capricorn. You guys know that Mambo Venus is one of my best friends in the world. And she and I used to collaborate together a lot on business. And the reason why we collaborated and it was so peaceful and easy is because she's a Cap rising, right? So Capricorn placements, they're important, especially if you are somebody that works for yourself. Get you some Capricorns in your life. I already shuffled the cards, I already prayed over them. I just wanted to move the energy one more time. These two cards at the end were stuck together, so I'm going to read them together. Some of you guys are overdue for a cleansing over your home, and it's for a variety of reasons, and I'll get into those reasons for a while. Some of you, stop using busy as an excuse to not take good care of yourself. Stop using busy as an excuse to not take good care of yourself. Stop using busy. Calissa, can you text me? I'm gonna write my phone number in the comments. So Calissa, and I'm glad that you said this. So I no longer have access to my Hunsi email, hunsi@gmail email. And I'm using a different email. So last week I had to change my typical business email on my website. So if you put in the wrong email when you made your purchase, or if you emailed my old email, I don't have it. So text me 404-654-3246. That's my business number. Text me and we will get all that sorted out. Okay, Calissa? And thank you for letting me know. Because I was worried about that. I was worried about that last week. I was like, damn, I know people, of course, right when I'm running a sale, I lose access to my email and I know somebody's emailing me and I can't see it. So text me and we will definitely get that all taken care of, okay? what was I saying earlier? Stop using busy as an excuse to not take good care of yourself. This is very much a break or make moment. Some of you guys are going to fuck around and deal with some difficult things as it relates to your health because you're running yourself ragged. And you have to stop. The two messages. One is what I just said. You guys are running your ragged and you are going to bring early illness into your life if you are not careful. But also, some of you guys are going through a deep transformation energetically. And even though you don't feel it, even though you don't see it as what it is, because you see yourself as a novice or as a student and you speak a lot of deficit over yourself, that doesn't mean that other people around you don't see it. So this is another reason why we need to cleanse and protect. And it needs to be regular, because just because you aren't aware of your elevation, it doesn't mean that other people aren't watching you hella hard. And it doesn't mean that whether it's through the evil eye and the juju of jealousy or through just direct, like that weird bitch did to me, throwing work at you, it doesn't mean that it won't happen. So you are out here being a busybody, being overly stretched thin, not taking care of yourself, not eating right, not, doing your cleanses, not taking your spiritual baths, not doing your spiritual washes over your floor. And there's no telling what's coming into your life in terms of illness, in terms of things that are meant to drain your energy, right? But this is also, I want to go back to this death card. With some of the transformation that a lot of us who are watching this either live or in a replay are going through, we cannot afford to continue to be distracted and stretched thin. So this is a week where you really, really have to ask yourself, and it's dependent on your health. Spiritual health and physical health are coming through the forefront in this reading. It is dependent on your health that you stop being so busy that you don't take care of yourself. Stop speaking limitation over yourself as well, right? Some of y'all wake up and say, "Oh, I'm tired." Y'all, you ain't this shit. Some of you guys look at your money and just because it's where you don't want it, not where you want it to be, you call yourselves broke. Stop doing that. Get really, really serious about the power of your tongue this week, okay? It's really important. Under the death card, we need new forms of movement. Some of you guys, yes, you're working out. Yeah, you're moving your body, but you're doing it by rote. You need to increase your output, right? So go ahead and enroll in that yoga class that you've been looking at, right? Go ahead and sign up for that hiking or that running group. You need to reinvigorate your energy when it comes to physical activity. And there needs to be a new beginning. There needs to be a new spark. Some of us haven't been working out in years. Spirit is snitching. And some of us, we've just recently fallen out of routine. So the Ace of Wands is coming to say, get back into your routine, let yourself have a new spark and regenerate some energy as it relates to your physical output. Not only is this going to help you in terms of having the energy to say no to certain things and to get off that tightrope of the Two of Pentacles, but it's going to bring you a lot of new ideas. Some of you guys are stuck. You are not able to see things clearly. And this is impacting you in your closest relationships. You're having cyclical arguments. And it's because you can't see clearly. You can't take in new information. So the increase or the invitation of new physical activity is also going to bring in some new thoughts and help you think clearly, right? I remember I had a mentor from the past that said when they hit a wall in terms of being able to think clearly, and when they recognize that their intuition is blocked, they'll just get up and go on a run, right? Because sometimes you literally have to release physical energy from your body in order to be able to see and think clearly. So if you feel like you're having the same thoughts over and over again, and again, that Ace of Swords is under the Page of Swords. Some of you guys are not speaking in a way that matches the transformation you have gone through. You are financially okay, but you're speaking like you're at deficit. You know, Spirit has blessed you with a new social environment, but you're still saying you're bored. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you dragged over habits into your transformation and into this new energy in your life that are not going to serve you, and that they just low key, they don't need to be there, right? So that's another reason why the increase in physical activity needs to happen. You need to really change your physical habits and your physical routine, and that will change the thoughts that you have. We end with the 9 of Wands being stuck to the World card. This is the second time that the World card has come in, right? A lot of you guys have prayed, fasted, worked, sacrificed, had heartbreak, fallen down, had success, and lost it. All the shit that happens to be major arcana from the Fool to get to the World card, right? A lot of you guys have done all of the things, but that does not matter because you're going to lose the opportunity and the favor that you worked for because you're not doing shit to protect your environment. And that's why you're constantly tired. That's why you're feeling drained. It doesn't matter if you've done all this hard work to speak or call in and pray and fast and get a promotion. If in your everyday life, you're not setting boundaries and you're setting yourself up to go into work with exhaustion, right? It doesn't matter that you've done all this work. You've burnt all these candles. You've done rich spirit 2-3 times. And now you've seen financial increase, but you can't enjoy it because you're letting people, again, borrow money from you and you're still stretched thin. You're still doing the same juggling act that you were doing before you got the financial blessing. A lot of you are so addicted to being the person that's resilient and being the person that's able to pull things through by the skin of your teeth that you're not embracing the change in your world that you've worked hard to get to. You haven't even embraced the new chapter that you've called in. And no, you can't bring those old habits into the new chapter because then you're never going to fully understand and be able to embrace that you did all this hard work and that you have this transformation in this death card moment, right? What does that have to do with your health? You cannot heal in the environment that made you sick. If you go to the gym and you get COVID there, are you going to continue to go back to that gym or are you going to change your environment? Right? Some of you guys have worked really, really hard and you've done all this prayer and you've done all this transformation to call in something new, but you're still using the same words to talk about your life. You are still engaging in the same kinds of physical and social laziness that you engaged in before you got this blessing. So instead of being consistently worn out and drained and in this wounded warrior energy, step up, change your health regimen. Change your some of you guys are way overdue for revamping of the protection regimen as it relates to your spiritual regimen over your home and over your environment. So those are the things that need refinement this week. Your physical regimen, your spiritual regimen, both need refinement. And they need to match the kind of transformation that you have recently gone through. Because if you don't allow your habits to match your transformation, you're not going to even be able to see or feel the blessings of it. What's the point of being in this World card energy, this new chapter, if you're still doing the same shit that you were doing from the last one? Okay? That is the health reading. Let's end with love and romance. Do I want to change decks for this? I think I do. Yes, I had to go out of town and do some work this past week. Whenever the decks are still in the Crown Royal bag, that's because I had to travel with them, okay? So I do want to switch decks. Give me 1 second. Because I feel like I get the best love readings whenever I use Game of Thrones or my Pope Girls deck, and I want to use Pope Girls tonight. Okay. Ancestors, angels, and master spirits, walk with me, elevated ancestors. What wisdom? What wisdom? I know. Give me attitude. What wisdom does the collective need about? We're ending with money. We already did love and romance. We're ending with money. What wisdom does the collective need about money and the flow of money in their lives during the week of July 7th through the 13th. Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about ourselves, our habits, and our environments that will allow us to be in alignment with the energy of abundance, prosperity, and expansion? Please highlight any deficits that are holding us back, any blockages that are holding us back so that we can do the work of removing them. Please highlight the strengths so that we can continue to nurture and water those good, healthy habits. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. We had quite a bit fall out, so I'm going to go ahead and put those to the side. Some of you guys really, really need to watch my Theater of the Mind class. Some of you guys, actually, it's been a while since I've taught about that concept, so I'm going to try to do another Maxwell Maltz themed class over the next month, because the way that y'all talk about y'all situations and the way that y'all refuse to acknowledge how the way that you speak over your life calls in deficit, it's not okay. Y'all give y'all power away a lot. And in this time, especially with everything we're about to go into with this country as it relates to finances, this is not a time where we can afford to speak deficit over ourselves. This is not a time where we can afford to be humble. This is not a time where we can afford to act like we don't have multiple skill sets. It's not going to help us. It'll only put us in deficit. So I need to go ahead and plan that class and get it on the books so that I can get y'all in the room and we can make some change before we cause our downfall. There are moves that you need to make as it relates to your finances and going into a better future for your finances that you are fearful of. Here's the thing. The only way to get to it is through it. The only way to get to it is through it. The only way to get to it is through it. That is the message for this financial reading. This message around learning from heartbreak is coming up again. Because part of the reason why some of us are avoiding this, planting these seeds and going down this journey is because we've been hurt before financially. We've lost some money. People have promised us certain things in collaboration and betrayed us. People have told us to invest in something and that investment didn't work out. So now we feel burnt and we don't want to do it again. But the reality is that the only way that you can get to a future that is better than the one that you are currently planted in is to get up and move. That Kendrick song, shit don't change till you get up and wash your ass. And that's the reality. Shit don't change till you get up and wash your ass. Shit don't change until you get up and change it. Shit don't change until you get up and reset the energy. And some of you guys need to move away from some shit that you're doing, because the only thing it's doing is causing the same heartbreak and the same wound over and over again. You are at this company that's kicking your back in and you sitting here begging for promotion when the answer is that you need to get up and move to another company. You are tired of being in the same position over and over again. But again, shit don't change until you get up and wash your ass. The Six of Swords is coming through saying you are avoiding the journey, but the progress is on the other side of the journey. It's through the experience of having the journey, right, that anything changes. So you got to get up and do it. The complaining and the wallowing is not getting you anywhere, right? This is where we have to be emotionally tough with ourselves. This is where we have to be really strict with our boundaries. This is where we have to take ownership of what we speak over ourselves, right? Queen of Swords is the writer. And when you actually are a writer, you may not, it's not about being prolific, but if you are somebody that writes, you understand that wasted words are not something to play with, right? And that is something that the Queen of Swords understands. She understands that words are there to protect her, right? So she's not going to say some shit unless she means to do it. And she's also, when she sees that somebody is not a person of their word, that they are somebody who speaks one way in my face, but another about me behind my back, cut them off. Cut them off, protect yourself, right? You have to be able to move this way in order to be integrity with your finances. There are way too many things that you have been saying that you are going to do, seeds that you are going to plant, and those seeds have been left unplanted. And now what? I'm going to share a story. There was somebody in my life that I was thinking about investing. I was thinking about making a certain investment. I'm not going to say what the investment was. And it's funny that we have the seven of Pentacles, because this was about 6 or 7 years ago. And I said something about it, and they laughed in my face, and they were like, but you ain't got no money. And they made me feel broke, and they shamed me around it. So I didn't make the investment. Mind you, the investment was only like $100. Nigga, I had $100. I had more than $100. Like, how dare you disrespect me like that, right? And now in that 7 years, I see what other people have been able to do with that investment. And let me just say, my life would be a lot different had I not let that person talk me or shame me into not doing what I needed to do and planting that seed. Okay? Stop whining and complaining about what you do and don't have. Start speaking. I'm going to do. I see this. I know this will happen for me. Right? Start moving that way. Start speaking that way, and it will show up in your movement. Plant those seeds. Go after what you want. I remember when I was in graduate school, I learned so much about white liberal racism in graduate school. There was a woman in my cohort, beautiful brown girl, smart as fuck. And whenever she would talk about certain things, she would always say, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to file my dissertation early. I'm going to get this fellowship when I X, Y, and Z. And then the white people, all of them, liberal, I'm from this place in the Bay Area. When they would get behind her back, they would talk about her and how arrogant she was. And people don't like it when you know what you are worthy of. And that's why people don't like the Queen of Swords. That's why people don't fucking like her. That's why they call her mean. That's why she has a reputation of being a bitch. That's why she's understood as the most masculine of the queens. Because when the Queen of Swords say she gonna do some shit, guess what? It happens. Guess what? She moves like it. She understands that when she wants something, she has to say, I'm going to, this is mine. And it ends up being hers. And that puts her, that's why she's close to her sister. We love a Queen of Pentacles. How do you think the Queen of Pentacles get where she is? You become the Queen of Favor by showing up in integrity in your word. You become the Queen of Favor by doing what you say. People want to pour into you when you have a reputation of keeping your word and keeping your good favor. So no, if you say you're going to invest in some shit and you don't do it, you lose favor. If you want to be a Queen of Pentacles, or a King of Pentacles rather, the King of Pentacles, you have to be a person that is of your word. You have to understand longevity and legacy. You have to be committed to hard work and sacrifice. You have to keep working towards something even when you're not up. That's how the King of Pentacles becomes King of Pentacles, through being Knight of Pentacles, right? So we have to set better foundations for ourselves when it comes to our money. And that involves planting the seeds even when you can't see it. Nobody knows what the tree is going to look like when they plant a seed, but you plant the seed anyway, and you nurture it with the hope that it's going to come out a certain way. So again, I want to go back to that Six of Swords. Shit don't change until you get up and wash your ass. Until you make different moves financially, you're going to continue to have the same heartbreaks financially. So start saying what you want for yourself in your financial life and hold yourself accountable to planting those seeds. Why is this coming up? The 3 cards that fell out while I was shuffling. Judgment card. Some of you guys are about to get some really deep wisdom from your spirits about what they want to see you do. And you have to listen. Listen to that wisdom and move accordingly. If you don't, you are going to continue this cycle of being a wounded warrior. You're going to continue this cycle of feeling financially drained all the time, like you don't have enough, like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like the second that you get up financially, there's somebody in your family with their hand out. You're going to continue to feel that way until you move differently and until you listen to the wisdom of your spirits. You also have to work with somebody who's knowledgeable. Page of Swords is the teacher's pet. They make progress by learning from someone. So some of you guys literally don't know how to do this. Part of the reason why you haven't made the journey yet is because you're fearful and you don't know how. Okay, well then listen to your fucking teachers. But shit don't change until you get up and wash your ass. And a lot of you guys are going to continue to be in this cycle of burning candles, of doing rituals, getting these blessings, not knowing how to move differently with them because you're not changing your habits, right? You're not being careful with how you stand in integrity around your money. Integrity is not telling your spirits, okay, if you come through for me, I'm going to use this money to save towards a home, only for you to go and run out and waste that money on a trip. That's you falling out of integrity. That's you not protecting yourself emotionally when it comes to your money because you're not speaking in integrity, okay? So that is the money reading for this week. We are now at the end of the general readings, and if people have any questions for me, they can go ahead and put those in the comments. As you guys are typing out your questions, I'm going to bring you all up to speed around updates. I am in the process of interviews and recruiting people for Charm School again. The next cohort for Charm School is going to start on August 20th. So from now until August 17th, I will be taking people for interviews for Charm School. So if you want to join my coven, if you want to join my spiritual mentorship program, if you want to learn about the foundations of magic, as well as learn about hoodoo history from me and from my girls, you can join us. You can absolutely do that. The link to the WhatsApp intake group is below. So just go ahead and click that link so that you can get the general information. I realized over the last week that it's probably been 2 years since I've done a Q&A by my mentorship program. In fact, I think I was still calling it Tarot Mentorship last time I did a Q&A. So I'm going to do a new one in the next month or so. Keep your eyes open for the Charm School informational so that if you want to learn more about my program, you can. I see you, Empress. I'm going to go ahead and ask that question in just a minute. This is the last day of the 4th of July sale. So if you've been wanting to get a reading from me, if you've been wanting to purchase classes from me, go ahead and do that before midnight tonight so that way you can get 20% off by using the code Firework. Okay? I was just talking about Rich Spirit. Rich Spirit, we have another round coming up July 14th through the 17th. Deadline to sign up for that is July 12th. So if you want to join us for this next round, you have about 6 days to do so. The link for that is below as well. And that's about it. Those are the only updates I'm going to... Patreon. If you are not in a position where you can afford to purchase classes or enroll in my mentorship, join my Patreon. I do teach Patreon exclusive classes there. If you join my highest tier, which is not that much, it's $40 a month, you do get a reading from me monthly. So go ahead and consider joining the Patreon, joining that community. Next week, the new moon readings will be up. So that's another thing. There are readings around astrological sign, around moon phases, around big astrological events that are only on my Patreon. So if you want to gain access to those exclusive readings, go ahead and join my Patreon. You can join for as low as $5 a month. And then that goes all the way up to the highest tier, which guarantees you a monthly reading from me, okay? I see you, Kalissa. I'm going to answer your question after I'm done with Empress. If there's anyone else that has questions, go ahead and put those in the comments. My Cash App and my PayPal are scrolling below. You do not need to send a love offering to get a reading, but love offerings are deeply appreciated. Ancestors, angels, and master spirits to walk with me. Will Sandra get a good result from her doctor's appointment next week? My apologies. What do they need to know as they enter into this appointment? How should they best prepare themselves emotionally and spiritually? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. You know what? 3 cards exactly have already fallen out. So I'm going to go ahead and just read those 3 cards. Okay, I love this for her. You will likely get some difficult information. And when I say difficult, not life-threatening. Not life-threatening. So you are going to be fine. But the very first card is the Hangman. So they're going to say something that alters your perspective around how you see your health, right? Here's the thing about Hangman. Even though it's uncomfortable to be in suspension and to be forced to see something that you don't want to see, it's an opportunity for a paradigm shift. So you're probably going to get some information that causes concern initially, but again, it's not life-threatening. It's just about lifestyle change, something that you need to take on and do that gives you a shift in how you see and engage with your health. So even if it makes you uncomfortable, be grateful for that wisdom, because you have a long future ahead of your black ass. Like, nothing that you learn is going to shorten your future. There's, again, 3 of Wands is journey and about the path ahead, right? So this is wisdom that equips you to strengthen and lengthen, for lack of better words, increase the amount of time you have ahead of you, right? And it puts you in a position where you end up having all the tools that you need at your disposal to strengthen your health, right? So be grateful for whatever it is you do learn, because you will have control and mastery over it. So that's the message I'm seeing. Yes, you're going to get some information that's going to feel difficult in the beginning, but it's information that equips you to have control over your health as you move forward. So be grateful for that wisdom, okay? I hope that that's helpful, Empress. If anyone else has questions for me that they would like to ask, go ahead and put those in the comments section so that I can get to them. And Calissa wants to know how they can get their art out. Ancestors, angels, ascended master spirits that walk with me, and elevated ancestors. What wisdom does Calissa need at this time about getting their art out? What will allow them to be able to get their art out to a larger audience? What do they need to know about advertising and putting themselves out there? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Prayer takes us very, very far. I know that you already know that. Prayer takes us very far, Calissa. So just make sure you're continuing to pray. Spirit has already revealed that you're going to get some information that feels difficult, but it's not anything that you can't recover from, and it's not anything that's like life-threatening, right? So it could be that you need a surgery. Could be that you just need new glasses, girl. I don't know. But I don't want to make health projections because that's dangerous. But Spirit is saying not to worry. So in the meantime, between now and your appointment, just pray. You know, always put your concerns at the feet of your ancestors and let them handle it, okay? I got you, sorry, Sandra. Sandra was the health reading. My apologies. Calissa wants to know about their art, and that's who we're reading now. Hangman loves y'all. The Hangman is coming up again. You need to spend some time really writing your mission statement, really figuring out a way to articulate your vision. Because once you spend this time in your hermit reflection and really tapping into your spirit, it'll make it clear to you that the current way that you talk about your art and give me the language, Lord. Give me the language, Spirit. What do I need? Help me with the words. There's something about the current way that you present your work or present yourself as an artist needs a big paradigm shift. You've lost access to a way that a younger iteration of yourself used to speak about your art and promote it. And that's why I'm saying mission statement is coming up, because you need to tap back into, you need to access your nostalgia in a productive and a positive way so that you can reconnect back to that old version and merge it with your new perspective. Hermit, internal reflection. I think over the years, you have marketed yourself based off of the way that other people talk about your art or speak about you as an artist. And it's happened so gradually that you don't even know that it's happened. And that's why the Hermit is coming up. It's saying get in touch with your inner spirit and your inner voice so that you're not getting lost in the voices or opinions of other people. Once you do that, it will allow you to have a paradigm shift, Hangman, that gets you to understand how up until now you've been limiting yourself, right? We end with the Six of Cups, which is a card of nostalgia, and you've lost touch with something about how you speak about your work that's connected to a younger version of yourself. So really, now's the time to really connect to your inner child. And it may not be the child, it could just be like the version of you from your late teens, early 20s, but you need to connect with a younger version of yourself. This would be a really good time to look over your old art, maybe journal in reflection over your old pieces so that you can have that breakthrough, and then use what comes up as an opportunity to rewrite your mission statement, and then let that be the thing that you use to launch. I'm getting a need for like a relaunch, right? Or a rebranding kind of thing. And you won't be able to do that in an authentic way until you really tap back into self. Wow, I felt that. Okay. Good. I'm glad, because I was hoping, I was like, I hope what I'm saying makes sense. I hope she's picking up what I'm putting down, but you felt it. So I'm gonna trust that it's what you needed to hear and receive in this moment. All right. Grateful that I could help. Thank you all for watching. We're gonna keep it short tonight. I know y'all are tired because I'm tired, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my rest. Thank you for being here. I will do my best to come back later in the week for a happy hour reading. I was supposed to do happy hour last week, but I did not want to talk about Diddy. I just did not want to talk about Diddy. So, Allie has a question. I thought I was done, but let's help Allie. Let's look into Allie's question. She wants to know, I'm a restructure your question, baby. You wrote, do my ancestors have a general message for me? I think just taking general messages from your ancestors is how I'm gonna approach it. Okay. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters. If you can bring me close to Allie's ancestors. Let me know if Allie's ancestors have any messages for her at this time. What wisdom do they want to pour into her in this moment? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. You are welcome, Allie. Absolutely. I have had moments where I've clicked off and somebody was writing a question, and it did not make them feel good. And even though they were a complete and utter bitch about how they voiced that to me, I'm aware that I don't ever want to make anybody feel that way again. So I'm glad that even though it was just like by a hair, I'm glad that I was able to see you before I logged off, because I really didn't want to make you feel like I wasn't paying attention. Have you been avoiding your shadow work, baby? Because your spirits are calling you to revisit your shadow work. And the reason why I'm asking if you've been avoiding it is because they're talking about how there is a potential breakthrough that you need that's only going to come from you doing your shadow work. Your shadow work this round is really going to sharpen your sight, and it's going to give you new instincts, or not instincts, what's the word? Give me the word. Give you new strategies as well as new perspective around how to stand your ground, right? Judgment is wisdom from the ancestors. I know a lot of people have a different interpretation of justice. I had to delete a comment from a hating ass bitch that was like, that's not what the justice card. First of all, don't ever tell me what the cards mean to me, bitch. I'm an expert. I'm not. I'm good at this. I know what the fuck I'm doing, right? But judgment is one of those cards that a lot of different people interpret in different ways. The way that I interpret judgment is that the spirits are here to give you wisdom about your next steps that you need to take. They're here to either tell you that you need to launch forward and do something, or they're here to tell you that now is not the time to do a thing. For you in particular, with this coming up along with the moon card, it's like there's breakthrough on the other side of your shadow work, and they really are encouraging you to take it seriously so that you don't miss this opportunity. Okay? The moon card is about things that we keep hidden that need to be brought into the light of the moon. They need to be illuminated so that we can see them clearly. There's something that you carry shame around that is not yours to carry shame around. And if you can learn to look at this thing about yourself, I was going to say with neutrality, but that's not right, because it's actually a strength. If you can learn to release the shame around this, this will open up a lot for you in terms of new perspectives and in terms of your ability to really take ownership of yourself and to stand your ground and to really stand in your power, right? So they would really like to see you, especially between now and the 18th of the month. They would really like to see you prioritize your shadow work. Make sure that you are also meditating quite a bit as a part of your shadow work journey, because they have a lot of wisdom to pour into you. I don't know if you've been dealing with a feeling of being disconnected from your ancestors, but they're around and they're quite vocal. There's a lot of information that they have to give you, but because you've either not engaged in your shadow work, or you're doing it by rote. And what I mean by rote is like you're doing all the things, but you're not sitting in the information, right? I've dealt with this before when I've either done 30-day and several week-long challenges myself, or as I've helped some of my godchildren do these programs, right? Where people will come along and they'll do the journaling and they'll do the meditation, but they're so deeply disconnected from it that they don't have the breakthrough. There's a breakthrough that needs to happen through your shadow work. And that breakthrough is one that's going to help you in terms of being much more comfortable with using your voice to protect yourself. You don't stand up for yourself in the ways you need to. And this is very much a karmic time of your spirits helping you break through that and work through whatever shadow makes it hard for you to stand up for you. I hope that made sense. Hope that was helpful for you. Love you all. I'm going to leave for real this time. I will more than likely see you Thursday, but if I don't see you Thursday, I will definitely see you Sunday of this week. If you would like to book a reading with me, there's about 3.5 more hours of you being able to use the firework discount code. But even if the code is gone, go to soleilconjushop.com, book your readings if you want them. There's still 6 days left to enroll in Rich Spirit. If you would like to get exclusive readings from me, exclusive Patreon only classes, go ahead and enroll in my Patreon, the link for which is below. And again, I want you guys to all do good and be good, and I will see you later in the week. Bye. Take care.